the alarm bells rang through the corridors of the Times silent dawn asterisk. Commander Taesung rushed to the bridge, his long silver hair flowing behind him. He was Valorian, with pale blue skin and 3 fingers on each hand. His people had traveled the stars for thousands of years, and he had seen many strange things. But today would be different. Report, he commanded, as he took his seat. His communications officer looked worried. Commander, we picked up a distress signal from the border nebula. Very weak. But there is something else. We found 15 destroyed pirate ships in the area. Taesung felt his chest tighten. 15 pirate ships was a small fleet. Pirates in this sector were dangerous. They used heavy weapons and had no mercy. What destroyed them? We do not know yet, sir. But there is one small ship still intact. It appears to be a human vessel. Humans. Taesung had heard of them. They were a new species. Only recently arrived in this part of space. From what he knew, they were weak creatures. Soft skin. No armor plating. No natural weapons. They needed machines just to survive in space. Bring that ship in with the tractor beam, Taesung ordered. Tell Hyun to prepare a security team. We do not know what we will find. The human ship was small, barely bigger than a cargo shuttle. It was called the Times Horizon's Edge asterisk, according to the faded letters on its hull. The metal was scorched and dented. Several holes had been patched with emergency sealant. This ship had been in a fight. Hyun, the security officer, was a large Valorian with dark blue skin and powerful arms. He stood at the docking bay with 10 armed guards. Their energy rifles were charged and ready. They did not know what to expect. The airlock opened with a hiss. 2 humans stepped out. The first was a woman with short black hair and dark eyes. She wore a torn jacket and had blood on her face. She walked with confidence, like a soldier. The second was a younger woman with longer hair tied back. She carried a tool bag and looked tired. I am Captain G1 of the Times Horizon's Edge asterisk, the first woman said. Her voice was calm and clear. This is my engineer Boram. We need medical assistance and repairs. Hyun lowered his rifle slightly. These humans looked so fragile. The captain had cuts on her arms. Boram was limping. Where's the rest of your crew? He asked. Dead, G1 said simply. The pirates killed them in the first attack. Taesung watched from a screen on the bridge. 2 humans. Only 2. And they had survived an attack that left 15 pirate ships destroyed? It made no sense. Bring them to the medical bay, he ordered. Then bring the captain to me. I have questions. An hour later, G1 stood in Taesung's office. Her wounds had been cleaned and bandaged. She refused any pain medication, saying she wanted to stay alert. She stood at attention, military style. Please. Sit, Taesung said. He studied her face. Humans looked strange to him. They had so much expression in their features. Valorians were more calm, more controlled. G1 sat. She did not look afraid, even though she was on an alien ship surrounded by armed guards. Captain, I need to understand what happened, Taesung began. My sensors show 15 pirate vessels were destroyed, all of them. Yet your small ship survived. How? Ji-won leaned back in her chair. We were transporting medical supplies to the colony on Deneb IV. The pirates ambushed us near the asteroid field. They wanted the supplies and our ship. They killed 3 of my crew in the first attack. I am sorry for your loss, Taesung said. But please continue. They boarded us, Ji-won said. Her voice was steady, like she was giving a routine report. 17 pirates came onto my ship. They had weapons and armor. They thought we would surrender. Did you? No. Ji-won's eyes became hard. They made a mistake, Commander. They split up to search the ship faster. We killed them one by one. Taesung felt a chill. This small human woman, talking about killing 17 armored pirates like it was a normal thing. You and your engineer killed 17 armed pirates? And my navigator, before they shot him, Ji-won corrected. We used the ship itself as a weapon. We knew every corridor, every vent, every hiding place. They did not. We cut the power. We vented sections. We used tools, pipes, whatever we could find. It took 3 hours. 3 hours, Tae-sung repeated. He could not imagine fighting for 3 hours without stopping. After we killed the boarding party, we took their weapons. Ji-won continued. Then we went to their ships. They were docked to ours. We moved through them and destroyed their reactor cores. Some tried to run. We disabled their engines first. Tae-sung stared at her. You hunted them? Yes, Ji-won said without emotion. They killed my friends. They attacked first. We finished it. There was silence in the office. Tae-sung had fought in battles before. He understood combat. But this was different. This was not just defense. These humans had turned the fight around completely. How did two of you destroy so many ships? He asked. Training, Ji-won said. Every human learns to fight. We come from a dangerous world. We had to be strong to survive. And we do not give up easily. Tae-sung noticed something in her eyes. It was not anger or fear. It was something else. Something that made him uncomfortable. It was certainty. Complete certainty that she had done what needed to be done. Commander, Bo-ram's voice came through the communication system. I have finished the report on the human ship. You should see this. Tae-sung looked at his screen. The report showed the Times Horizon's Edge Times had minimal weapons, just small cargo defense guns. But the inside of the ship was covered in blood. Not human blood. Pirate blood. The report also showed the humans had used emergency supplies to make traps and weapons. Captain Ji-won, Tae-sung said slowly. Your people are new to this sector. We did not know much about humans. I think we need to learn more. Ji-won nodded. I think that would be wise, Commander. We may be new here, but we have been fighting for survival for a very long time. On our world, everything tried to kill us. Animals, weather, disease. We learned to fight back. We learned to never stop. Tae-sung felt that chill again. He realized something important. Humans were not weak. They were something else. Something that looked weak, but was actually very dangerous. Like a small creature on his home world that seemed harmless until you got too close. I will take you to the nearest station, he said. Your ship will be repaired. But Captain, I must ask. Are all humans like you? Ji-won smiled for the first time. It was not a happy smile. It was the smile of someone who knew a secret. Commander, I am a cargo ship captain. Wait until you meet our soldiers. That night, Tae-sung could not sleep well. He kept thinking about the pirate ships, floating dead in space. He kept thinking about two humans fighting for 3 hours without stopping. He kept thinking about that smile. For the first time in his long life, Tae-sung felt something he had rarely felt before. He felt true fear. Not fear of the humans hurting him, but fear of what would happen to anyone who made humanity their enemy. The galaxy was about to change, and Tae-sung was not sure anyone was ready. The Times' silent dawn times traveled through space for 2 days. Tae-sung kept the two humans in comfortable quarters. He assigned guards, but not because he thought they would cause trouble. He was not sure why he assigned them. Maybe it made his crew feel safer. Ji-won and Bo-ram moved freely around the ship. The Valorian crew watched them with curiosity and something else. Fear? Respect? Maybe both. The story of the 15 destroyed pirate ships had spread quickly. On the morning of the 3rd day, Min-soo was at his navigation station when his screen turned red. Warning lights flashed across the bridge. Commander! Min-soo called out. He was young for a navigator, only 30 years old. His hands shook as he worked his controls. Large ship approaching. Very large. Tae-sung stood up quickly. Identify. Tae-sung. Tae-sung. Krovan battlecruiser, Min-soo said. His voice became quiet. The Times Bloodfang asterisk. The bridge became silent. Everyone knew about the Crovens. They were the terror of this sector. 9 feet tall, with natural armor plating that covered their bodies. They had 4 arms, each strong enough to bend metal. Their faces looked like insects, with large black eyes and mandibles that could crush bone. The Crovens took what they wanted. They destroyed anyone who resisted. They had destroyed entire colonies just to prove their power. "They are hailing us," the communications officer said. "Put them on screen," Tae-sung ordered. He stood straight and kept his face calm. Inside, his heart was beating fast. The screen showed a Crovan commander. His armor was decorated with symbols that showed many kills. His mandibles clicked together as he spoke. "Valorian ship. You will power down your weapons and engines. You will allow us to board. We will take your cargo and any valuable technology. If you comply, we will let most of you live." Tae-sung clenched his fists. The Crovens always said this. They never kept their promises. "This is Commander Tae-sung of the Times Silent Dawn **. We are on a diplomatic mission. We have no cargo worth taking. Please let us pass." The Crovan commander laughed. It sounded like metal scraping metal. "Your ship will be payment enough. You have 1 minute to power down, or we will destroy you and take what is left." The screen went dark. "Options?" Tae-sung asked his crew. Hyun checked his weapons panel. "We cannot fight them, Commander. 1 Crovan battlecruiser has more firepower than 5 of our ships. Our shields would last maybe 2 minutes. We could try to run," Min-soo suggested. "But they are faster." Tae-sung closed his eyes. He was responsible for 73 crew members. If he fought, they would all die. If he surrendered, most would die anyway. There was no good choice. The door to the bridge opened. Ji-won walked in. She was not supposed to be on the bridge. The guards tried to stop her, but she moved past them with confidence. "Commander," she said, "let me talk to them." "Captain Ji-won, this is not your concern," Tae-sung said. "This is a Crovan battlecruiser. They are the most dangerous species in this sector. I know what they are," Ji-won said. She walked to the communications panel. "I have studied them. Please, let me try." Tae-sung looked at Hyun. The security officer shrugged. What did they have to lose? "Do it," Tae-sung said. Ji-won opened a channel to the Crovan ship. "This is Captain Ji-won, of the human vessel Times, Horizon's Edge **. I wish to speak to Commander Raktar of the Times Bloodfang **. The screen flickered. The Crovan commander appeared again. He looked surprised that someone knew his name. "Human? We have heard of your species. Weak. Soft. Easy to kill. You are Commander Raktar, son of War Chief Ragnar, who died in the Battle of Kepler's Crown," Ji-won said. Her voice was steady and strong. "Your ship is registry number KR 7743. You have been in command for 6 years. You have raided 47 ships in that time." The Crovan's mandibles stopped moving. "How do you know this?" "We study our enemies." "Commander," Ji-won said. She took a step closer to the screen. "Let me tell you what else we know. We know Crovans have 17 major organs. We know where each one is located. We know that your armor is weak at the joints. We know that your ships use a centralized power core that explodes if damaged correctly." Rektar leaned forward. "You threaten me, human?" "No," Ji-won said calmly. "I inform you. 2 years ago, Crovan ships attacked a human colony on Tau Ceti III. You killed 400 of our people. Since then, we have killed 2,300 Crovans. We have destroyed 12 of your ships. We have learned everything about your species. How you fight. How you die." The bridge was completely silent. Everyone stared at Ji-won. Even Tae-sung could not believe what he was hearing. This small human woman was talking to a Crovan commander like she had no fear. "We know about you, Raktar," Ji-won continued. "We know your ship has 120 crew members. We know you have families on your homeworld. We have their names. their locations. If you attack this ship, you will have to kill every human on board. And before we die, we will send a message. Your family will be first on our list. Then the families of every Krovan on your ship. You lie, Rakhtar hissed. Humans do not hunt families. You have honor codes. Jiwan's face became cold, hard. We have codes for those who honor them. You killed our children, Commander. You gave up any right to mercy. We do not forget. We do not forgive. And we never stop. She pressed a button on the panel. Data appeared on the screen. Names, addresses, photos. All Krovan. All civilians. This is just the beginning of our database, G1 said. We have been building it for 2 years. Every Krovan who attacks humans, every Krovan commander, every family member, we track them all. You attack this ship, and everyone you love will pay the price. Not today, not tomorrow. But humans live a long time, Commander. And we have very good memories. Rakhtar stared at the screen. His mandibles clicked rapidly. A sign of stress in Krovans. This is not war. This is madness. 80. This is survival, G1 said. You started this? We will finish it. Every time. No matter the cost. That is what humans do. We survive, and we make sure that those who hurt us regret it. She leaned even closer to the screen. Now you have a choice. Leave this ship alone, and go on your way. Or attack us, and spend the rest of your life knowing that your family will pay for your decision. Humans do not bluff, Commander. Check your databases. Check the colony attacks. See how many Krovan raiders have simply disappeared. We made them disappear. And we enjoyed it. The screen was quiet for a long moment. Tae-sung watched as the Krovan commander seemed to think. Finally, Rakhtar spoke. The Times. Bloodfang Times has other business. We will let you pass this time, Valorian ship. The Krovan battlecruiser turned and jumped to faster than light speed. It was gone. Everyone on the bridge let out their breath. Hyun sat down heavily in his chair. Minsu stared at his screen like he could not believe what happened. Tae-sung looked at Ji-won. Did you really track all those families? Yes, Ji-won said. Everyone. We do not use that information unless we have to. But the threat is real. Humans learned a long time ago that if you want peace, you must make war more terrible than anyone wants to face. That is... Tae-sung searched for words. That is terrifying. Yes, Ji-won agreed. It is. But it keeps us alive. And now it kept you alive too. She turned to leave the bridge. At the door, she stopped and looked back. Commander, you should understand something. I am not a soldier. I am not special forces. I am just a cargo ship captain. Imagine what our real warriors are like. After she left, the bridge remained silent for a long time. Finally, Minsu spoke. Commander, are all humans like that? Tae-sung sat down slowly. I do not know. But I think we need to learn more about them. Hyun pulled up his computer and started searching human databases. After a few minutes, his face became pale. Commander, you need to see this. Human history. Their warfare. Their survival strategies. Tae-sung looked at the screen. What he saw made his blood run cold. Humans had been fighting for thousands of years. Fighting each other. Fighting their world. Fighting everything. They had created weapons that could destroy planets. They had survived diseases that killed millions. They had lived through ice ages and floods and disasters. And they had never stopped. Never given up. Never accepted defeat. Contact the Valorian Council, Tae-sung said quietly. Tell them we need to establish formal contact with humanity. And tell them to be very, very careful with how they treat humans. Should we be afraid of them, sir? Minsu asked. Tae-sung thought about Ji-won's cold eyes when she talked to the Krovan. He thought about the 15 destroyed pirate ships. He thought about humans tracking families for 2 years just to have information if they needed it. No, he said finally. We should be grateful they are not our enemies, and we should make very sure they become our friends. Station Kepler 9 floated in space like a small city. It was the largest trading station in the sector, with 50,000 beings living and working there. Ships came and went every hour, bringing goods from hundreds of worlds. The Times, Silent Dawn Times, docked at Port 17. Tae-sung had sent a message ahead, requesting repairs for the human ship and medical supplies for G1 and Bo-Ram. He had also sent a private message to the Valorian Council, asking for guidance on dealing with humans. Da-eun was Tae-sung's science officer and his oldest friend. They had served together for 20 years. She was brilliant, with a mind that loved puzzles and problems. When Tae-sung told her about the humans, she became very interested. "I want to study them," she said. "Not like experiments. I want to understand their culture, their thinking, how they became this way." "Be careful," Tae-sung warned. "They are not dangerous to us now, but we must be respectful. They have proven they are not to be taken lightly." Da-eun met with G1 in the station's central garden. It was a large space, with plants from many worlds. The humans seemed to like it. G1 sat on a bench, watching colorful birds fly between the trees. "Captain G1," Da-eun said politely, "I hope you are recovering well." "I am fine, thank you," G1 said. She gestured to the bench. "Please, sit. Commander Tae-sung told me you wanted to talk." "Yes," Da-eun said. She sat down carefully. "I am a scientist. I study different species and cultures. I would like to understand humans better. Would you allow me to access your cultural databases? I want to learn about your history, your art, your way of thinking." G1 thought for a moment. "I can give you access to public databases. But I must warn you, our history is not pleasant. We have done terrible things to each other and to our world. We are trying to be better, but our past is dark." "I understand," Da-eun said. "All species have darkness in their past. Even Valorians. I want to see the truth. Not a polite version." "All right," Ji-won said. She pulled out a small device and transferred access codes to Da-eun's computer. "Here. But please, if you have questions, ask me. Context is important." That night, Da-eun sat in her quarters on the station and began to read. At first, she was curious. Then she became uncomfortable. Then she became frightened. Human history was violence. Page after page, century after century, it was war and struggle and death. Humans had fought with stones, then with metal, then with fire and explosives, and finally with weapons that could end all life on their world. But it was not just the violence that scared her. It was the persistence. Humans never stopped. When an enemy defeated them, they came back. When disease killed millions, the survivors rebuilt. When their world tried to kill them with cold or heat or storms, they learned to survive it. Da-eun found records of something called the Black Death, a disease that killed half of Europe, a large part of Earth's human population. She expected to read about collapse and despair. Instead, she read about humans who buried their dead and then went back to work. They rebuilt. They survived. She found records of something called World War II. Humans killed each other by the millions. Cities were destroyed. Entire countries were burned. And when it ended, they rebuilt again. Bigger, stronger. But the most frightening thing was not the wars. It was human culture. Their stories, their music, their art. Everything celebrated survival. Everything celebrated not giving up. Da-eun found human movies about monsters and aliens, and disasters. In every story, humans were outmatched. In every story, they should have lost. And in every story, they won anyway. Not through strength or technology. Through stubbornness. Through refusing to accept defeat. She found human music. Songs with words like, "I will survive," and "We are the champions," and "Don't stop believing." Every song was about not giving up. about fighting on, about lasting one more day. There was a human phrase that appeared again and again in their literature. Rage against the dying of the light. It meant to fight death itself. To refuse to go quietly. To make the universe acknowledge that you existed and you mattered. Daun realized something terrifying. Humans did not just fight for survival. They fought because they took the universe personally. Other species fought because they had to. Humans fought because they refused to accept that anything could defeat them. She found records of human evolution. They had evolved as something called persistence predators. They did not have claws or fangs or venom. They were not fast or strong. Instead, they chased their prey for hours, for days, until the prey collapsed from exhaustion. Humans had carried this into space. They did not give up. They did not stop. They just kept coming. At 3 a.m, Daun was still reading. She found records of human extreme sports. Activities where humans deliberately put themselves in danger for fun. Jumping from cliffs, climbing mountains, diving deep underwater. They risked death for entertainment. She found records of human exploration. They had climbed the highest mountains on their world, where the air was too thin to breathe. They had gone to the deepest oceans, where the pressure could crush metal. They had gone to their frozen poles, where nothing could survive. And they had done it just to prove they could. Finally, she found records of humanity's first steps into space. Their early rockets failed often, killed people, exploded on launch pads. Most species would have stopped. Humans kept trying. When people died, they built memorials and then built better rockets. They never stopped. There was a human named Yuri, who was the first to go to space. Daun read his words before launch. "Let's go." That was all. No fear, no hesitation, just 3 words, and a willingness to risk everything. There was another human named Neil, who was the first to walk on Earth's moon. His words: "One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." Always thinking of the future. Always pushing forward. Daun stood up and walked to her window. She looked out at the stars. Humans were out there now. Spreading. Exploring. Never stopping. She thought about the pirates who attacked the Time's Horizon's Edge asterisk. They had thought humans were weak. They had died learning the truth. She thought about the Krovan commander who threatened the Time's Silent Dawn asterisk. He had retreated when he learned what humans really were. The door to her quarters opened. Tae-sung stood there, looking tired. "You have been reading all night," he said. "I saw your activity logs." "Commander," Daun said quietly, "I need to show you something." She brought up her research on the main screen. Page after page of human history, culture, and psychology. "Every species fights for survival," she said. "But humans do something different. They do not just want to survive. They want to prove that nothing can stop them. Not death. Not pain. Not the universe itself." She pulled up a section on human philosophy. "Look at this. Humans have a concept called existential defiance. It means to create meaning and purpose in a universe that has none. They know they are small. They know they are fragile. They know the universe does not care about them, and their response is to say, 'We do not care that you do not care. We will matter anyway.'" Tae-sung sat down heavily. This is what Ji-won meant when she said we should meet their soldiers. If their cargo captains think this way, what are their warriors like? "I do not know," Daun said. "But Commander, there is something else. I received a message from the Valorian Council. The Krovans are planning a large invasion. They want to take Valorian territory in the Outer Rim. The Council is asking for help." "Help from who?" Tae-sung asked. "From humanity," Daun said. "The Council wants to form an alliance. They want human military support." Tae-sung stood and looked at the screen showing human history. War after war. Battle after battle. Humans never stopping. Never surrendering. "This will change everything," he said. "Yes," Daun agreed. "The Krovans think they are the apex predators of this sector. They have never met humans in real combat. They do not know what is coming. Should we warn them? Taesung asked. Daun thought about the 15 destroyed pirate ships. She thought about Ji-won's cold eyes when she talked about tracking Krovan families. She thought about thousands of years of human history showing one truth. Humans did not lose. They might die, but they made sure the victory cost too much. No, she said finally. The Krovans chose this. They attacked first. Let them learn the same lesson the pirates learned. The next morning, Taesung met with Ji-won at a cafe on the station. He told her about the Krovan invasion plans. He asked if humanity would be willing to help. Ji-won listened carefully. Then she smiled. Not the cold smile from before. A different smile. One that was almost sad. Commander, she said, you and your people have been kind to us. You treated us with respect. You gave us help when we needed it. So yes, humanity will help you. But I need you to understand something. Once we commit to this fight, we will not stop until it is finished. That is who we are. That is what we do. I understand, Taesung said. No, Ji-won said gently. I do not think you do. Not yet. But you will. Contact your council. Tell them to send coordinates for a meeting. Our military will respond. And Commander? Tell your people to be ready. Because when humans go to war, the galaxy changes. Taesung sent the message that afternoon. 3 days later, he received a response. The human military was sending a fleet. They would meet at the Valorian border station in 1 week. The fleet would be commanded by Admiral Sang-ho of the Earth Defense Force. As Taesung prepared the times Silent Dawn times for departure, Da-eun came to his quarters. She looked worried. I kept reading, she said, about human military history. Commander, I think we have made a mistake. What do you mean? Taesung asked. We asked humans for help, Da-eun said. But we did not ask what that help would cost. I do not mean money or resources. I mean morally. Humans fight to win. They do not have the same rules we have. They do not stop when the enemy surrenders. They do not show mercy to those who show no mercy first. Taesung understood. You think they will destroy the Krovans completely? I think they will try, Da-eun said. And I think they will succeed. And then we will have to live with what we have unleashed. That night, as the times Silent Dawn times traveled toward the border, Taesung could not sleep. He kept thinking about human history, about human determination, about human rage against the dying of the light. He wondered if he had made the right choice. But it was too late now. The message was sent. The humans were coming, and the galaxy would never be the same. The shattered belt was a field of broken asteroids and dead stars. It lay between Valorian and Krovan space like a scar. This is where the battle would happen. Both sides knew it. The Valorian fleet assembled first. 40 ships, including the times Silent Dawn **. It was the largest fleet Valorians had gathered in 50 years. They formed a defensive line and waited. Taesung stood on his bridge, watching the sensors. His crew was quiet. Everyone knew what was coming. The Krovans were bringing at least 120 ships. The Valorians could not win this fight alone. Commander, Minsu said from his navigation station. New contacts appearing. Human fleet arriving. On the screen, ships began to exit faster than light travel. Human ships. But not what Taesung expected. Valorian ships were smooth and elegant, built for grace and efficiency. Krovan ships were brutal and heavy, built for intimidation. Human ships looked like weapons, pure and simple. Angular, covered in armor plating, bristling with guns. They looked like they were designed for only one purpose: to destroy. How many? Taesung asked. 20 ships, Minsu reported. Wait. 25. 30. They keep coming. The human fleet spread out. 40 ships, 50. Finally, 60 human vessels filled the space alongside the Valorian fleet. They were not as numerous as the Krovans, but they looked ready for war. The largest human ship moved forward. It was massive, twice the size of any Valorian vessel. Its hull was scarred from old battles. The name on the side read Times Indomitable Asterisk. Incoming transmission, the communications officer said. A human appeared on the screen. He was older, with gray hair and hard eyes that had seen many battles. He wore a uniform covered in medals and rank insignia. "I am Admiral Sang-ho of the United Earth Defense Force," he said. His voice was deep and calm. "Commander Tae-sung, it is good to meet you. Captain Ji-won spoke highly of you and your crew." Tae-sung stood at attention. "Admiral, thank you for coming. We are grateful for your assistance." Sang-ho smiled slightly. "Captain Ji-won says you treated her with respect when you could have left her to die. That earns our help. Now, show me the tactical situation." Tae-sung transferred all sensor data to the human fleet. The Krovan force was approaching. 123 ships, moving in formation. They would arrive in 6 hours. On the screen, Sang-ho studied the data. His face showed no fear, only calculation. "Commander, I need to speak plainly. The way humans fight is different from how you fight. We do not surrender. We do not retreat unless ordered. And we do not show mercy to those who attack first. Are you prepared for this? We asked for your help," Tae-sung said. "We will accept how you choose to give it." "Good," Sang-ho said. "Then here is my plan. Your fleet will form the center line. Hold defensive positions. My fleet will divide into 3 groups. We will attack from multiple angles. The Krovans will expect a defensive battle. We will give them an offensive one." Tae-sung's tactical officer, Jay, looked shocked. "Admiral, we are outnumbered. Offensive tactics against a superior force is suicide." Sang-ho looked at Jay. "Son, humans have been outnumbered in every major battle we have fought for the last 3,000 years. We learned something important. The size of the force does not matter as much as the will to use it. Do you trust me?" Jay looked at Tae-sung. The commander nodded. "We trust you," Tae-sung said. "Then prepare for battle," Sang-ho said. "And remember, no matter what you see, do not break formation. We will finish this." The transmission ended. The human fleet split into 3 groups and moved to flanking positions. The Valorian ships held the center. Weapons charged and shields at maximum. 6 hours passed slowly. Then the Krovan fleet appeared on sensors. They moved in a standard attack formation, confident and strong. They had done this many times before. The Krovan commander, a war chief named Raksur, sent a message. "Valorian fleet, you have humans with you now. That will not save you. Surrender, and we will be merciful. Fight, and we will destroy you all." Sang-ho responded. His face on the screen was cold. "Krovan fleet, you have attacked our allies. You have killed innocent civilians. You have one chance to retreat. Take it. Or learn why humans do not lose wars." Raksur laughed. "Humans are weak. Soft. You hide behind machines because you have no natural strength. We will crush you." Raksur laughed. "Then come and try," Sang-ho said. He cut the transmission and opened a channel to all human and Valorian ships. "All forces. Engage at will. Show them what it means to fight humanity." The human fleet surged forward. Not slowly. Not carefully. At full combat speed. Directly at the Krovan line. Jay gasped. "They are charging straight in. That is insane." But Tae-sung watched and understood. The humans were not being reckless. They were being terrifying. They were showing the Krovans that they had no fear. The Krovan ships opened fire. Energy beams and missiles filled space. The human ships took hits. Shields flared. Armor burned. But they did not slow down. Then the human ships returned fire. And Tae-sung saw something he had never seen before. Human weapons were different. They did not just damage. They destroyed. Completely. Human railguns fired solid projectiles at incredible speed. They punched through Krovan shields like they were paper. Human missiles did not just explode. They burned with heat so intense that they melted metal. The first Krovan ship exploded, then another, then 5 more. The human ships reached the Krovan line and did something no one expected. They rammed a human destroyer, its name reading times Never Surrender *, crashed directly into a Krovan cruiser. Both ships exploded in a ball of fire. But as the debris cleared, Tae-sung saw escape pods launching from the human ship. They had evacuated the crew before impact. They had used their ship as a missile. They just destroyed their own ship as a weapon, Jay whispered. Who does that? Humans, Tae-sung said quietly. Humans do that. The battle became chaos. The human fleet split the Krovan formation in half. They fought at close range, where Krovan advantage in numbers meant less. They targeted engine cores and weapon systems with surgical precision. But the Krovans were strong warriors. They fought back hard. Human ships were taking heavy damage. The Times, indomitable Times, lost its forward shields. A human frigate broke in half, its crew dead. Then Tae-sung saw something that would stay with him forever. A Krovan battleship locked weapons on the Times Silent Dawn *. Before it could fire, a human ship moved between them. It was a medical transport, not even a warship. The Krovan beam cut through the transport. It began to break apart. But before it died, the transport fired emergency thrusters and rammed into the Krovan battleship's engines. Both ships were destroyed. They sacrificed a medical ship to save us, Hyun said, his voice shaking. On the communication channel, Sang-ho's voice cut through the battle noise. All human ships. Enemy attempting to retreat. Do not let them. I repeat, do not let them leave. They attacked our allies. They pay the full price. The human ships changed tactics. They stopped attacking weapon systems and started attacking engines. Krovan ships that tried to run found their drives destroyed. They were trapped. Admiral Sang-ho, Tae-sung transmitted. They are trying to surrender. Some are sending distress signals. Do they respond? Sang-ho asked. No, sir. Then they are not surrendering. They are stalling. Continue attack. The battle raged for 3 hours. It was brutal, horrifying. Tae-sung watched as a young human pilot, barely 20 years old, flew his damaged fighter into a Krovan command center. The pilot's name was Dong-hyun. His last words on the communication channel were, "For Earth and for our friends." Human Marines boarded Krovan ships. Tae-sung watched the video feeds. The Krovans were bigger, stronger, and had natural armor. But the humans fought with something the Krovans did not have. They fought with absolute determination. In one video, 5 human Marines faced 20 Krovans in a cargo bay. The Krovans should have won easily. Instead, the humans used the environment. They vented the bay into space. They fought in zero gravity, where strength mattered less than skill. They used magnetic boots to stay grounded, while the Krovans floated helplessly. Then, they killed every single enemy. Another video showed a human medic, a woman named Yoon-hee, dragging wounded soldiers to safety while firing her weapon with one hand. She was hit 3 times but kept moving. She saved 6 soldiers before collapsing. Finally, after 3 hours, it was over. The Krovan fleet was destroyed. Not defeated, destroyed. Of 123 ships, only 8 escaped. The rest were debris floating in space. The human fleet had lost 17 ships. 23 more were heavily damaged. But they had won. Sang-ho's face appeared on Tae-sung's screen. The admiral looked tired but satisfied. Commander Tae-sung, the battle is finished. Your space is secure. The Krovans will not return soon. Admiral, Tae-sung said. He did not know what else to say. Your people fought with incredible courage. You saved us all. We fought for our friends, Sang-ho said simply. That is what allies do. Now, if you will excuse me, I need to contact the families of those we lost. That is the hardest part of command. The transmission ended. Tae-sung sat in his command chair and looked at the battlefield. Debris. Fire. Death. And somewhere in that chaos, human crews were already beginning rescue operations, pulling survivors from damaged ships. "Commander," Min-soo said quietly, "I monitored the Krovan communication channels during the battle. In the last hour, they stopped fighting to win. They were fighting to escape. They were afraid." "Good," Hyun said. "They should be." Tae-sung stood up. "Begin rescue operations. Help recover any human survivors. And send a message to the Valorian Council. Tell them the battle is won. Tell them humanity has proven to be the most terrifying ally we could ask for. And tell them to treat humans with the respect they have earned." As he walked to his ready room, Tae-sung thought about something Ji-won had said. "Wait until you meet our soldiers." Now he had. And he understood. Humans did not just fight battles. They fought until nothing was left to fight. They did not just defend. They made sure the attacker regretted starting the fight in the first place. The galaxy had just learned a lesson. The Krovans had learned it the hard way. Never make humanity your enemy. Because humans did not just defeat their enemies. They made them extinct. The medical bay of the Times, Silent Dawn Times, was full. Valorian doctors worked alongside human medics, treating the wounded from both fleets. The air smelled of antiseptic and burned metal. Tae-sung walked through the rows of beds. He saw Valorian crew members with minor injuries. He saw human soldiers with wounds that should have killed them. Yet they were awake and talking. One human Marine had lost his arm in the battle. He was sitting up in bed, joking with a Valorian nurse. Another human had burns across half her body. She was asking when she could return to duty. Tae-sung found the bed he was looking for. Ji-won lay there, her arm in a regeneration tank. She had been on a human destroyer during the battle. Her ship had taken a direct hit. She was lucky to be alive. "Captain," Tae-sung said softly. Ji-won opened her eyes and smiled. "Commander, your doctors are very good. They say my arm will be fully healed in 2 days." "I am glad," Tae-sung said. He pulled up a chair and sat. "Your people fought with incredible bravery today. We could not have won without you." "We fought for our friends," Ji-won said. She looked at her recovering arm. "That is what humans do. We are very loyal to those who treat us well." "I need to understand something," Tae-sung said. He leaned forward. "Your people terrify me, Captain. Not because I think you will hurt me, but because of how you fight. You ram ships into enemies. You sacrifice yourselves without hesitation. You fight until nothing is left. Why? Why do you fight this way?" Ji-won was quiet for a long moment. Then she spoke. "Commander, have you ever read about Earth? Our home world?" "A little," Tae-sung admitted. "Da-eun studied your databases. She told me it is a dangerous place. It is a death world," Ji-won said. "Everything on Earth tried to kill us. The animals were bigger and stronger. The diseases were deadly. The weather could freeze you or burn you. The earthquakes and volcanoes could destroy entire regions. For millions of years, Earth kept saying to us, 'Die. Lie down and die. You are not strong enough. You are not smart enough. Just give up.'" She looked at Tae-sung with those dark eyes. "And for millions of years, we said, 'No. Not yet. We will survive one more day. And then another day. And another.' We learned to use tools because we were not strong. We learned to work together because we were not big. We learned to think and plan and never stop. Because that was all we had. But you are in space now," Tae-sung said. "You have technology. You have left your dangerous world. Why do you still fight this way?" "Because it is who we are," Ji-won said simply. "It is in our bones. Our culture. Our history. We do not fight just to win, Commander. We fight to prove that we exist. That we matter. That the universe cannot erase us just because we are small and weak. Do you understand?" Tae-sung thought about it. Valorians had evolved on a peaceful world. They had few natural predators. They developed civilizations slowly and carefully. Fighting was something they did when necessary, but it was not part of their identity. Humans were different. Fighting was survival. Survival was identity. They were not just survivors. They were professional survivors. I think I understand, Tae-sung said slowly. But it still frightens me. What if your people become our enemies one day? What if we do something that makes you fight against us? Ji-won reached out with her good hand and touched his arm. Then do not give us a reason to fight you. Treat us fairly. Be honest with us. Respect us. We do not start fights, Commander, but we always finish them. The pirates attacked us first. The Crovens attacked your people, our friends, we responded. That is all. But you destroyed them completely, Tae-sung said. You did not just defeat them. You made sure they could never attack again. Yes, Ji-won said, because if you hurt someone and they survive, they will come back. But if you hurt someone badly enough, they will think twice before trying again. This is not cruelty, Commander. This is making sure the fight actually ends. The door to the medical bay opened. Admiral Sang-ho walked in, accompanied by Bo-ram and several human officers. The admiral looked tired, but alert. Commander Tae-sung, he said, do you have a moment? We need to discuss the future. They moved to a private conference room. Tae-sung brought Hyun and Da-eun. The humans brought their senior staff. Both groups sat at a table, facing each other. The Valorian Council has sent a message, Sang-ho began. They want to form a formal military alliance with humanity. They are offering trade agreements, technology exchange, and mutual defense. They want to make this partnership permanent. What is humanity's response? Tae-sung asked. Sang-ho looked at his officers, then back at Tae-sung. We are willing, but we need to be clear about what this means. An alliance with humanity is serious. We do not abandon our friends, ever. If someone attacks you, they attack us, and we will respond with full force. I understand, Tae-sung said. I have seen how you respond. I do not think you do, Sang-ho said gently. Not completely. Today was a battle. It was violent and terrible, but it was also restrained. We followed rules of engagement. We targeted military vessels. We tried to minimize civilian casualties, even Crovan civilians. He leaned forward. But Commander, if someone truly threatens humanity or our allies with extinction, if someone tries to destroy everything we care about, then we will use every weapon we have. We will not stop. We will not negotiate. We will burn worlds if we must. Do you understand? An alliance with us means you are protected. But it also means you will see us do terrible things to protect you. The room was silent. Da-eun spoke quietly. You are asking us to accept that you will become monsters if necessary. No, Bo-ram said. She had been quiet until now. We are asking you to understand that we are already monsters. We just choose to be monsters who protect instead of monsters who destroy. Every human carries this inside them, the ability to do terrible things. We just aim it carefully. Tae-sung looked at his officers. Hyun nodded slowly. Da-eun looked uncomfortable but accepting. I will recommend to the council that we accept the alliance, Tae-sung said. But I will also include a warning. That humanity is the most dangerous ally we could have, and we must never take that for granted. Fair enough, Sang-ho said. He extended his hand. Tae-sung took it. The human handshake was firm and warm. Over the next days, the combined fleet returned to Valorian space. The Valorian Council held a formal ceremony at their capital station. Representatives from 50 worlds attended. Humans and Valorians signed treaties. They exchanged gifts and promises. Tae-sung stood with Ji-won on an observation deck, watching the ceremony through the windows. Below them, human and Valorian ships floated in formation together. A symbol of the new alliance. Do you think this will last? Tae-sung asked. Peace between our peoples? I hope so, Ji-won said. But even if it does not, we will have tried. That is all anyone can do. Try. Fight for what is right. Protect those who need protection. And never give up. Never give up, Taesung repeated. That is very human. Yes, Ji-won smiled. It is. Far away, in Krovan space, the survivors of the battle told their story. They spoke of human ships that did not retreat, of human soldiers who fought until they could not stand, of a fleet that destroyed 115 Krovan vessels, while outnumbered 2-1. The Krovan High Council listened. They debated. And finally, they made a decision. They would avoid human space. They would not attack Valorian territory again. The cost was too high. One young Krovan warrior asked his commander, "Are humans truly that dangerous?" The commander, who had survived the battle by hiding in a damaged ship, looked at the young warrior. They are not just dangerous. They are something worse. They are persistent. They do not know when to stop. They do not accept defeat. If you fight them, you must kill every single one. And even then, their friends will come looking for revenge. Stay away from humans, young one. They are death wrapped in soft skin. The word spread. Throughout the sector, species heard about the Battle of the Shattered Belt. They heard how humans fought, how they sacrificed, how they won against impossible odds. Some species were afraid, some were impressed, all were respectful. On Earth, in the capital city of Geneva, the United Earth Council received the reports. They discussed the new alliance. They discussed the cost of the battle. 17 ships lost, 4,300 soldiers dead. The Secretary General stood before the council. We have proven ourselves to the galaxy. We have shown them what humanity can do. But we must remember, with power comes responsibility. We fought to protect our friends. We must always fight for the right reasons. We must never become the monsters we fought against. The council voted. The alliance with the Valorians was ratified. Ambassadors were assigned. Trade routes were established. Humanity had found their first true allies among the stars. Back on the Times Silent Dawn asterisk. Taesung sat in his quarters and wrote his final report. He described the battle. He described the humans. He described everything he had learned. At the end of the report, he added a personal note. I have encountered true fear. Not fear of death or pain, but fear of what lies within the human spirit. They are capable of terrible things, but they are also capable of incredible loyalty and sacrifice. They fight not just for themselves, but for anyone they consider a friend. I recommend that we treat humanity with respect and honor. Not because we fear them, though we should, but because they have earned it. They came when we called. They fought when we needed them. They bled for us. That is the definition of a true ally. And I am grateful they are on our side. He sent the report and turned off his computer. Through his window, he could see the human fleet preparing to leave. They would go home soon. Back to Earth, back to their dangerous world that had made them so strong. Min-Soo entered without knocking. He looked excited. Commander, the humans are broadcasting something. They call it music. I think you should hear it. Taesung followed him to the bridge. The communication officer played the broadcast. It was strange music. Loud. Energetic. With drums and guitars and human voices singing words of defiance and joy. What is this? Hyun asked, confused but intrigued. They call it rock and roll, Min-Soo said. It is music about not giving up. About fighting and living and celebrating existence. Very human. Taesung listened. The music was wild and uncontrolled. But it was also alive. Vibrant. Full of energy and passion. It was very human indeed, as the Times Silent Dawn Times prepared to return to normal duties. Taesung looked at his crew. They were different now. Changed. They had fought alongside humans. They had seen what true determination looked like. They had witnessed what it meant to never surrender. The galaxy was different now too. Humanity had arrived. Not quietly, not carefully, but with fire and courage, and that strange human quality of refusing to accept defeat. Tae-sung smiled. He was no longer afraid of humans. He was proud to call them friends. And he pitied anyone who would try to harm them or their allies. The universe was a dangerous place. But now, humanity was part of it. And that made all the difference. As the human ships jumped to faster-than-light speed, heading home, Tae-sung whispered a human phrase he had learned: rage against the dying of the light. Yes, that was humanity. That was his allies. That was the future of the galaxy. And it was beautiful.